Californians are dealing with a raw mix of emotions stemming from the wildfires down south and the promise of mass deportations of undocumented immigrants. Let's talk about the fear and its effects by welcoming Allison Holman, health psychologist at the School of Nursing at UC Irvine. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for your interest.
Of course, I think especially during the pandemic, many of us learned that watching people deal with trauma can be in itself traumatic.
Yes. Yes, that's absolutely correct. And what we've found with our research is that the more people are exposed to seeing images of the destruction and death or very violent images, those can be more distressing even than just the amount of media that a person is exposed to. So it's not just how much media you expose yourself to, but it's what you see. And my thoughts are in terms of the fires for example, I mean, people are looking at the fires and the devastation in LA and other places. What we're seeing is people's whole lives. It's like a huge loss. It's like losing your life.
Yeah.
And that can be seen as a death, I think, for some people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching pictures like the ones we were showing of, hills on fire, and I think to myself, we're several hundred miles away, but wow, those hills look just like what's on either side of 580 as I'm driving into Livermore. I make it so personal, even though I've never lived in Los Angeles.
Yes, it can be. And I think that's, the fires are, have been all around the state of California on and off for years, right? We've seen them. And so, yes, it makes sense. When you see that, it can feel very personal. And it's really important that people are able to be able to find ways where they can connect with other people so that they can feel a little bit of a sense of safety in the aftermath of such events to help them cope.
Let's talk about another piece of news that has affected many people here in the Bay Area. The new president has promised immigration raids. We've seen fear at schools, at churches, on the community level. In this case, it's the unknown. It's the promise of an immigration raid. Explain to me how this is a little different than actually watching a wildfire play out on the TV screen.
Well, this is anticipatory stress. This is different from actual, you've experienced the stress of something burning down. This is anticipatory stress. And we know that anticipatory stress is actually a marker of potential PTSD. And so helping people find ways to manage that stress in the moment is really important. So using techniques like mindfulness or using techniques like helping people learn how to do emotion regulation, those are really important to help people cope. Also, creating a sense of community where people feel like they have some safety being with other people, that's important as well.
I know a lot of the time when we talk with experts, they say you should know when to turn the TV off, right? You've seen enough of the wildfire pictures. You can't take any more news of upcoming immigration raids. However, the news information can be a lifeline, and so it's very hard to say turn away from it.
Yes, it is. However, there are ways to dose it, right? So you can actually use the news in a very controlled and monitored way. So, for example, I give myself time to look at the news in the morning and in the evening, and in between, I do not pay attention very much at all. So setting aside time where you can find trusted sources. This is really important. Yeah. You have to find trusted sources of news outlets that have actually shown a track record of actually providing accurate news, and then making sure that you fact check, and then also paying attention to those news sources for a limited amount of time. And while you're paying attention to the news sources, paying attention to how your body feels. Because sometimes when we're watching news or we're paying attention to things, we can start to feel nervous, we might start having shallow breathing, our heart might start beating faster. And those are things that we have to notice in ourselves to tell us that, oh, time to stop. I need to stop now. I need to go, and I need to take some time off and do something else, go for a walk, whatever it might be.
I tell myself I have what I need to know. Professor, this is great advice. Yes. I appreciate your time and your expertise. Professor Allison Holman at the School of Nursing at UC Irvine. Thank you, and I hope you and everyone in the Southland is safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much.